What's going on, guys? It's Rush, and today I just wanted to make a video. I'm leaving for Bloomington tomorrow morning, so we've pretty much completed the event planning process, and there's just a few things that have been on my mind, especially within the last week or two. Now this is the sixth event that I have ran, sixth LAN, and by far the largest. With the previous largest being 14 teams, now 24 teams. 10 more teams than I've ever hosted. Double the size of our last LAN in June. So it's been a workload that for me has been unprecedented. And as one person behind the scenes with Esports Midwest, I want to start off by saying John Mazzell, the sponsor, NRH Law, and Play Normal, they've done an excellent job holding it down in Bloomington. I have full faith in them that the venue will be ready and set when I get there tomorrow to take a look. And they've done nothing but great work for us so far, and I can't thank them enough. Again, Play Normal Esports, John Mazzell, and NRH Law for getting us to this point to even have this tournament in the first place. But I'm simply speaking from my perspective as the owner of Esports Midwest, and there's a few things that I personally have experienced in the last month that have got me thinking, because I love doing this and I love doing it for you guys. And if I didn't receive the positive feedback that I have gotten from it, I wouldn't continue to grind as hard as I do every single day. Like, people don't understand that the Midwest Twitter is completely ran by me. I run a personal Twitter and a business Twitter that together has 12,000 combined followers. So I have a lot of eyes on me, myself, and what I say and what I do for the community, and I love it, trust me. But once you get to a certain point, you kind of have to speak on things that are going on within the community that you notice. And there are a few things that I've experienced that are not so good. And they're things that, for the first time since the first LAN I ran in January of 2018, just negative vibes to the point where, it's blocking me physically from continuing to provide the best possible event that I can for you guys, including, teams refunding passes, multiple teams, at least 3, 4, maybe even, refunding or asking for refunds the week of the tournament, while I'm trying to plan last minute, like travel. Like, I want to show you guys something here. All of these are all for you guys. There's 120 of them, all hand cut, made by myself in my room at my house, invested with my personal money. All of the hoodies that have been bought were personal money for myself. And don't get me wrong, I love doing this and I love making these investments and doing this for you guys, but I'm a 23-year-old kid. I have an apartment of my own. I have bills. I've been putting off like getting my car fixed to put all my money into making sure that this event is crisp, that I have hoodies for everyone, that we have lanyards made, that whatever it may be. And don't get me wrong, that's a part of being in this position and running something like Midwest is sacrificing your own personal wants and needs for the greater good of the tournament. But for me, this year for Black Ops 4, we're getting up there in the tens of thousands paid out. And, I'm just a 23-year-old kid. Like, that money is crazy money to me too. And I do not profit like people think I do off of running these events, to the point where, people wanted monitors for the longest time. I couldn't provide monitors. I was, simply bound and constricted by who I could work with and what we could provide. But I did my best to provide the best possible events we could, whether it was, 10 teams, 12 teams, 14, whether it was 2v2, 4v4, 5v5. I always got this good vibe from the community. Like, they wanted to see it move forward and they wanted to see it grow bigger, and I did too, and I still do. And don't get me wrong, I'm so stoked for Bloomington this weekend, but at the same time, like, this has been the single most taxing thing physically and mentally that I've ever done in my entire life. And everyone who's been to a Midwest event knows that I try to be the hardest working individual in that entire building, and that's what I plan to do this weekend as well. But the amount of sacrifices that I have to make, I had to work so much this week, boys, and like all I wanted to do was just not work and serve burgers and do the stuff I do every single day. Like, I just want to focus on Midwest, put 24 hours a day, 7 days a week into this company and growing it. And unfortunately, I can't do that due to the position that I'm in, being, so young. But I'm motivated to continue grinding. But, dealing with toxic players who, they want to refund passes and basically ruin the experience of pool play for the rest of the competitors, whether it be for whatever reason. But I know there's multiple teams that basically saw their pool and they're not going to tell us it directly, like, hey, we don't like our pool, we want a refund. But it's just like when you go, oh, I want a refund this minute, and then the next minute you don't, when things change, it's just hard to trust, why these people are asking for refunds. And I don't want to sit here and scam people like, I was being accused of stealing children's money, quote unquote, by not offering a refund on Wednesday when tomorrow morning I travel out to the event. And it's just funny, and don't get me wrong, like, I personally love having an org that I know is my own and I can, control what happens and I'm the top dog. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But when it gets to a point where it's one man planning, 120 player tournaments where it's like, I got to keep up with the social media, the marketing, and then run the pre-land OLTs and this and that. There's so many moving parts. People don't understand how much work it actually is to run an event of this caliber, or any LAN of that matter, because you have a ton of people like, saying, oh, you should do it this way, you should do it this way. But I run a completely feedback-based, consumer-based organization. Everything that I do is based off of the feedback from the players, and what we have become today is due to accepting player feedback, implementing it, and changing the product to be geared towards our players as opposed to us. It's not, oh, we're pocketing thousands of dollars every event and I'm just saving up stacks so I can invest a bunch of monitors. It's like, I'll break even off of these events, and that's my goal, is to not have to physically come out of pocket to run these events. I just want to make sure that all the revenue that's generated, we get to pay out, and that's what we've been doing, And so people don't understand that, if you've won anything at a Midwest event, you have made more money at a Midwest event than I have personally taken home in my pocket. And people don't understand, the actual amount of hard work and dedication and sacrifice it takes to put on an event. And that's why I'm motivated to this point to now just say, whatever it takes, I'm leaving tomorrow morning, and I'm not going to let what anyone says steal this dream from me. I've been playing Call of Duty since 2008, since COD 4. I got posters on my walls of Call of Duty. World War II is where it started with the LANs for me. Like, everybody who's been to an event knows how passionate I am about this and how hard I work. So, I just wanted to kind of turn the camera on and just talk to you guys because, to be honest, like, it's been a lot of just in my own thoughts, in my own head, planning this event. What should I do with this here? And it's just like, don't get me wrong, I love it and I love having complete creative control, but at the same time, for one man, it becomes a lot of work for Papa Midwest. But I don't want this video to drag on too long. Just know, guys, that I hear you. I read every DM, read every mention on my personal and, business Twitter. Like, I see it all. And this is no knock to anyone else who's involved with the organization or planning the event. I'm just telling you that in the position I'm in, like, I'm full all in for this event. Like, this is the only thing in my life that has mattered to me this much. And I appreciate you guys watching to this point. And I got to keep packing and keep grinding because we got Bloomington this weekend and I leave tomorrow. So appreciate you guys watching to the end if you did. And thanks for watching. I'll see you this weekend. This is Rush, signing off.